Joining us now, Democratic Congresswoman Tulsi Gabbard of Hawaii. She serves on the Armed Services and Foreign Affairs Committees. She's also an Iraq War veteran. Congresswoman, thanks very much for coming in.
Thank you.
We'll talk to you about El Chapo in a little while. Let's talk about Philadelphia right now. This 30-year-old suspect, Edward Archer, goes up. We see him there, allegedly points his gun right inside the vehicle, shoots about 13 times. Fortunately, the police officer, Jesse Hartnett, 33 years old, is okay. He's going to need multiple surgeries, but he's going to survive. He says he did this in the name, because of his allegiance to what he called the Islamic State, or ISIS. This is a worrisome development given what's happened in California a few weeks ago, given what's happened in Paris. It seems to be happening more robustly, shall we say.
It is. First, I just want to send my prayers out to this police officer and his family. What he did is tremendous in staving off this point-blank attack. But I think you're right. When you look at what this guy did in Philadelphia, when you look at the San Bernardino attacks, I think a lot of this can be attributed to the necessity really to recognize the ideology that's being used by groups like ISIS to recruit and to get people to conduct these attacks here at home. The biggest problem is the United States hasn't done anything about the recruiting tactics that ISIS is using. They've done nothing to shut down the social media accounts, the websites, the ways that ISIS is really reaching out to hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people through these accounts. It's just like allowing ISIS to roam freely, walk through our neighborhoods, walk through our communities, our shopping centers, and to try to recruit people. And I think that if this had been done a couple of years ago, we would know for sure that ISIS would not have the reach that they have today in trying to recruit people. This
suspect, this 30-year-old suspect, Edward Archer, reportedly told police, "I follow Allah, I pledge my allegiance to the Islamic State, and that's why I did what I did." Now, you've been critical of the Obama administration for refusing to term some of these actions radical jihad or radical Islamic terrorism. They're still calling it a new program they just released today, countering violent extremism. That still frustrates you that the Obama administration is not calling it Islamic radical extremism.
Well, Wolf, this isn't for me. It's not about what frustrates me. It's about, for us as a country, taking action to identify who our enemy is and the ideology that's driving them. Unless we do that, we will not be able to defeat them. We will not come up with effective strategies to defeat them, whether it's recognizing how they are influencing and recruiting people here on American soil, or how we can defeat them overseas in places like Syria and Iraq and Libya and all these other places that ISIS and Al-Qaeda and Al-Nusra and these other Islamic extremist groups have built a stronghold for themselves.
Well, with the language, the rhetoric, the description, would it really make a difference practically?
It would absolutely make a practical difference. And we just heard in November of last year, for example, I know you mentioned earlier talking about screening of refugees and immigrants and others coming through this country. We heard reports of how DHS and other law enforcement officials were told they were not allowed to ask refugees coming in about their religious affiliation, which meant they couldn't ask a question like, have you ever been involved with or associated with a group like the Muslim Brotherhood or other Islamic extremist organizations? So if you can't identify these affiliations and these ideologies that people are attached to and are abiding by, then how can you stop them from coming to our country, and how can you identify them in order to defeat them?
I want you to stand by, Congresswoman. We have more to discuss, including a very alarming report that a U.S. Hellfire missile, has wound up in Havana, Cuba. Stay with us. We'll be right back.